Hello my dear students. In previous video we have discussed about the very important part of our transport system, that is the heart. We have discussed about the structure of heart as well as the working of heart. We have also discussed about the need for double circulation in human beings. In this video we will be discussing about blood, the important components of blood, its functions, as well as we will discuss about the lymph and its functions. Thank you.
Let us first discuss about human blood. What are its components and what are their functions? The major components of blood are plasma, WBCs, RBCs and platelets. There is around 55% plasma present in our blood, while the percentage of WBCs and RBCs is just 1%, and there are 44% RBCs present in our blood. What are their functions? Let us discuss about these components. First important component is plasma. Plasma is a liquid part of blood, mainly water. It carries the blood cells around the body. It also carries dissolved nutrients, hormones, carbon dioxide and urea. It also distributes heat around the body. Means it helps our body to maintain its temperature. Next important component is RBCs. RBCs are also known as red blood cells or erythrocytes. These are biconcave, disc-like cells with no nucleus. There are millions in each cubic millimeter of blood. The functions of RBCs are transport of oxygen. Do you know why RBCs are red in color? In previous videos we have discussed about hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a component which gives red color to RBCs. This hemoglobin loads oxygen in the lungs and unloads it in other regions of the body. White blood cells, they constitute lymphocytes. These lymphocytes are about the same size as red cells with a large spherical nucleus. WBCs, they are the important part of immune system of our body. They produce antibodies to destroy microorganisms. Some lymphocytes persist in our blood after infection and they give us immunity to specific diseases. In previous classes you have studied about this, about the immunity. Then phagocytes. These are the much larger cells with a large spherical or lobed nucleus. These phagocytes engulf bacteria and other microorganisms that have infected our bodies. Means they protect us from infection. The next important part of our blood is platelets. These are the smallest cells. These are really fragments of other cells. They release chemicals to make blood clot when we cut ourselves. Let us discuss the functions of platelets in detail. These platelets are the smallest cells in the blood. These are for single purpose, to begin the process of coagulation or forming a clot whenever a blood vessel is broken. These platelets clump together, means they come together and then stick to the edges of the cut. So they prevent the excess loss of blood from the injury or from the wound. These platelets release messengers into the blood that perform a variety of functions. The first function is they constrict the blood vessel to reduce the bleeding. They attract more platelets to the area to enlarge the platelet plug and initiate the work of plasma-based clotting factors such as fibrinogen. Through a complex mechanism involving many steps and many clotting factors, the plasma protein fibrinogen is transformed into long sticky threads of fibrin. Together, the platelet and the fibrin create an intertwined meshwork that forms a stable clot. This self-sealing aspect of the blood is crucial to survival. Now let us see how the platelet works. In first figure you can see the injured part of the blood vessels. So platelets rush to that area. Then these activated platelets, they help in the formation of clot with the fibers known as fibrin. So they seal the cut area, so they prevent the excessive loss of the blood, which is very important for our survival. What are the types of blood vessels? There are mainly three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins and capillaries. Here you may see the comparison between them. Arteries have thick elastic walls and small circumference. They transport blood away from the heart. See, arteries transport blood away from the heart, while veins, see, these are thin, less elastic walls with valves. They have valves to prevent the backward flow of the blood. Veins have large circumference. They transport blood towards the heart. Arteries transport blood away from the heart, while veins transport blood towards the heart. The capillaries are very thin walled structures. They have smallest circumference. They are thinner than our hair. Their function is to exchange the materials between the blood and the body. See the sections through the three types of blood vessels: artery, vein and capillary. You can see that arteries have a thick outer wall, smaller lumen. The veins have thin layer of muscle, thin outer wall and larger lumen. Comparatively, thin outer wall is there. While capillary has very small lumen, its wall is made up of a single layer of cells. This diagram shows the section through the three types of blood vessels. Now let us differentiate between arteries and veins. This question is very important. Question will be distinguished between arteries and veins. See, the first difference is arteries carry blood away from heart, while veins carry blood towards heart. In arteries, blood flows under very high pressure because it is pumped through the heart, while in veins the blood is under low pressure because it comes from different body parts, so it is under very low pressure. Arteries have to carry blood under high pressure, so they have thicker walls, while veins have thin walls because blood is flowing under low pressure. Arteries show pulse flow, while veins show smooth flow. Arteries have narrow lumen and veins have large lumens. Walls are absent in arteries, while these walls are present in the veins. Arteries carry blood rich in oxygen. Exception is pulmonary artery, because pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from heart to the lungs. Veins carry blood poor in oxygen. Exception is pulmonary veins, because pulmonary vein carries oxygen rich blood from lung to the heart. Now, how blood pressure is measured? What is meant by blood pressure? How it is important in our body? See, blood pressure is the pressure of circulating blood on the walls of blood vessels. Most of this pressure is due to work done by the heart by pumping blood through the circulatory system. Used without further specification, blood pressure usually refers to the pressure in large arteries of the systemic circulation. Know your numbers. See, 1 in 3 Americans have high blood pressure and many don't even know they have. The ideal value of blood pressure is 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury. 120. The top number measures the pressure in the blood vessels when the heart beats. It is systolic pressure. While the bottom number, that is 80, it measures the pressure when the heart rests between beats. It is diastolic pressure. The blood pressure is said to be normal when it shows the value around 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury. It is said to be high normal when systolic pressure is 120 to 139 and diastolic pressure is 81 to 89. It is said to be high when systolic pressure is more than 140 and diastolic pressure is more than 90. See this instrument or device. This is the device used to measure blood pressure. 1 mark question will be asked. Name the device used to measure blood pressure. The answer is sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer is the device which is used to measure the blood pressure. How blood pressure is measured? Now you know that blood pressure is measured with an instrument called a sphygmomanometer. The first step is a cup is placed around your arm. You may see in figure B. A cup is placed around your arm and inflated with a pump until the circulation is cut off. A small valve slowly deflates the cup and the doctor measuring the blood pressure uses a stethoscope placed over your arm to listen for the sound of blood pulsing through the arteries. See figure C. The sound audible in the stethoscope. Then the first sound of rushing blood refers to the systolic blood pressure. Once the sound fades, the second number indicates the diastolic pressure, the blood pressure of your heart at rest. Listen once again how blood pressure is measured. See in figure B, a cup is placed around your arm and inflated with a pump until the circulation is cut off. You can see the rubber cup inflated with air. Second step is a small valve slowly deflates the cup and the doctor measuring the blood pressure uses a stethoscope placed over your arm to listen for the sound of blood pulsing through the arteries. That first sound of rushing blood refers to the systolic blood pressure. Once the sound fades, the second number indicates the diastolic pressure, the blood pressure of your heart at rest. What is meant by hypertension? Hypertension is also known as high blood pressure. It is a common condition that will catch up with most people who live into older age. When it's too high, it raises the heart's workload and it can cause the serious damage to the arteries. Over time, uncontrolled high blood pressure increases the risk of heart diseases, stroke and kidney diseases. What is hypertension or high BP? The main risk factors for having a stroke or a heart attack. Hypertension is known as the silent killer because it often has no signs or symptoms, and if uncontrolled, it can lead to heart attack or stroke. Now let us discuss about the another transport system in our body, lymphatic system. What are its various components? The lymphatic system is a network of tissues and organs that help rid the body of toxins, waste and other unwanted materials. The primary function of the lymphatic system is to transport lymph, a fluid containing infection fighting white blood cells throughout the body. The lymphatic system primarily consists of lymphatic vessels. These are similar to the veins and capillaries of the circulatory system. The vessels are connected to lymph nodes where the lymph is filtered. The tonsils, adenoid, spleen and thymus. These are all parts of our lymphatic system. Here you may see the parts of our immune system. The lymphatic system also helps to our immune system. Its major organs are tonsils, lymph nodes, spleen, lymphatic vessels. It also consists bone marrow, appendix, thymus, lymphatic vessels. These are all parts of our lymphatic system. The lymphatic system functions as to transport clean fluid back to the blood. It drains excessive fluid from the tissues. It removes the debris or waste from the cells of body. It transports fats from digestive system. So this was all about human blood and lymph. In next video, we will be discussing about the transport system in plants. Thank you.